Hi, I'm Stephen Garvey with National Citizens Alliance, NCA. Today we're going to do a short factual finding on what's called a crystal protector. One of our members notified us about the crystal protector and they were interested in learning how much protection this actual crystal does. So we're going to, and there's another member with a bunch of other crystals we're going to test as well, because we don't want people using stuff that isn't giving them sufficient protection or any protection at all. So we're gonna do the factual findings on this. Here's the crystal we're going to use today. Uh, this cost her $300 to get this, and it's a quartz crystal, and I believe there's iodine infused in it, and it looks like there's some air particles in there as well. But we're going to test this. Apparently, this crystal has a 200 feet protection radius. So we're going to test it out. Last night, I did some preliminary readings without this crystal present. I took it over 200 feet away so that it didn't have an impact. And we did some preliminary readings. And these are the findings we did yesterday. So this is without the crystal. The Wi-Fi was operating at 24.6 volts per meter where it was set up. And then we tested without Wi-Fi, and we were at 0.07 volts per meter, which is great. The adverse health effects start at 0.50, so that's great in this environment right here I'm in, and that's without any cellular devices on. Then we used our mesh cover, and that took it to 0.30, which is still within the safe limits, and the Wi-Fi works. We did a video on the mesh cover and how effective it is. So today we're going to look at the crystal, and we're going to go through the findings on that. So the first one we're going to look at was no Wi-Fi, and I did that last night because I can't do the video with the Wi-Fi off. So I did that reading last night. I used the crystal. I had it actually within maybe 4 feet of the Wi-Fi. No, actually, no Wi-Fi. So everything was turned off, and I had the crystal in the room, this office, and this is what I came up with. It was identical to the no Wi-Fi without the crystal present, and we got the same readings. So we're going to continue. We're going to do it with the Wi-Fi and the mesh cover. And then I'm going to look at one last thing, and then we can draw our conclusions. So over here, so these are the findings here so far. And there's our mesh cover on there now. Beautiful mesh cover. This only cost $24. And it does amazing screening and allows airflow to the modem, so the modem is not overheating. And you can still use this in your home. That's all you need. But we're going to take this thing off temporarily. And I got our meter here. You see, this Wi-Fi is just nasty. So the way this is set up now, that's what we have. And the Wi-Fi's on. There it is, right there. Oh my God, it went up to 31 volts per meter. And we got our crystal beside it, 19.9. And this is with the crystal present. I marked on the desk exactly where I had the meter. You see the markings there? So I wanted to be accurate with it. So we're at 6.2, 8.2, 7.2. I'm looking at the peak signal. Nine point one, 8.7, 8.8, 9.7, 10.1, 10.5, 12.1, 13.8, 11.6, 12.1. Okay, 13.8. Let's do that calculation here. That's 22.6. Let's get that there. Oh my God, 16.4. 16.4. Oh, geez. That's 26.8. And that's where I had the meter. And there's the Wi-Fi there. That hasn't moved. So we'll put 26.8. And that's the peak signal. Now I'm going to put the mesh cover on to see if there's any difference. We'll put this on. There. Okay. There we go. Our mesh cover. Look at it come down. Isn't that beautiful? You see that there? Look at it drop down. So 0.45, 0.49, 0.075. 0.075 is the highest. We'll go with 0.075. Divided by that's 0.094 now. .094. That's 0.15. Oh, let's do our percentages now. That's 108. That's 0.6. Right there. So what do these numbers mean? So yesterday we went through it. In this position, we were getting 24.6 volts per meter peak signal. No Wi-Fi in the room. All the cellular devices were off. We're getting a beautiful 0.07. So that's actually less than 0.5% of what it is with Wi-Fi. That's like a 99.72% reduction, which is awesome with no Wi-Fi. But we use this mesh cover, and this is without the crystal. We were at a beautiful 0.30, which is within the safe limits. 0.5 is where adverse health effects, and that's a 98.8% reduction in the EMF radiation. Beautiful mesh cover. And then we added the crystal, which is right here. We did this today. With the Wi-Fi, we got 26.8, and it resulted in 108% increase. So the crystal, based on that, you'd argue the crystal actually increased it. Then with the Wi-Fi last night, we showed that there was no impact with the crystal. And the mesh cover, it actually reduced today down to 0.15, and that's almost 99.4% reduction. So we have a bit of inconsistency here. I'm going to conclude based on these findings that the crystal's having no impact in terms of shielding or absorbing the EMF from the Wi-Fi. That's just what the findings show. We're going to offset these two. And we're going to do one final test here. We're going to take this thing off the cover. Actually, we'll put this right here. We'll see if there's any shielding. We'll add that to that. So there it is there. And we'll put that on top. No, I'm not seeing any difference. So we'll do one last test here. We're going to take our beautiful mesh can off. And we're going to put this a bit closer. We'll put it in front here and see, and we'll get this thing lined up properly. Wow. Ten 10.3, 2.8, 6.1. Nine 9.2, 10.7. You see the pulsations coming out of the Wi-Fi, eh? 10.8, 11.4, 10.4, 11.1, 15.6. So there's no difference. Look at that. I'm not seeing any difference there with this thing. Maybe if it was, we're going to put it back up here. We'll put this thing back on. I don't like getting radiated. Now we got it at a really nice, safe level. So we'll come back up here. So those are the findings there. They're pretty interesting. We're satisfied with the results. Share your comments. And I'll just put them up here so everyone can see. You see that there? And then we tested it. We tested it just as a shielding device, and we couldn't find anything there. So we're not seeing the protection with this. This is a quartz crystal, and I think it's infused with iodine in a gas form inside. It looks beautiful, but we're not seeing any shielding effect, and we're not seeing any absorption effect. And we don't want people to be using things that they think are protecting them when they're really not. So that's why we doing these videos now, and just to help inform people. The mesh can is working beautifully. It's at a safe level, 0.3 volts per meter, and we're still getting getting the Wi-Fi signal to be able to use throughout the house as well. So that's really good. We're not against these crystals, but it's important that we're factual and we understand what we're using. Another one is the shungite. Um, I looked at other evidence, and I think it's very similar to this crystal. There's no absorption effect that's been proven scientifically. There was one scientific article on shungite that talked about the possibility. That's basically an untested hypothesis, and that doesn't help anyone. That's just a possibility. There's lots of possibilities. The one thing, the shungite, we did see that there was a shielding effect, but are you going to spend all that money and buy a big shield of shungite? We don't think that's practical when you can just use a mesh can. Other metals have nice shielding effects, so you don't need the shungite. There's no evidence of absorption of EMF, dirty electricity, or anything. There's no evidence of that, and this proved it further today. Um, some of these people are profiting off the fear of others, and we don't think that's a good thing. Some of them probably think their products work, but we're not going to share anything that we do not believe is going to help you. Um, we know the mesh can is helping without question, and that's very inexpensive solution. So you can use Wi-Fi safely. We're going to do more on the crystals to get better understanding. There's some more crystals that we're going to do just to clarify that. We don't want anyone um, being manipulated or using things that aren't benefiting them. Share your comments. We will check them, and we look forward to your feedback. Um, we're under shadow ban on National Citizens Alliance. It's pretty bizarre, because we're trying to help the public. We're trying to, obviously we're promoting public health, public safety on various different issues. So why would they be shadow banning us? It doesn't make sense. It is what it is. Be sure to sign up at nationalcitizensalliance.ca. I just want to comment on one last thing. There was that story about the Clearwater AI facial recognition company. They had collected all these photos from online. They had a database of millions of photos of you, me, for facial recognition by government authorities, including CSIS, RCMP. So, this is all part of the technocracy. This isn't made up. This is coming, and all we need to do is look at China and their a facial recognition grid that they have there. And there's a lot of Western companies that have helped set up, that continue to help set that up. But we got to be on guard against this stuff. It is coming. 5G is the gateway. And, who knows what's going to happen when this 5G is deployed. The radiation is going to be so much higher. What is going to be the health impacts, the privacy impacts? That's why NCA supports a moratorium on 5G, so we can understand better. We would prefer if 5G was done in an isolated location away from the public, and that's really tested out. And that seems the prudent way of putting public health first. But remember, the Great Reset is all about the 5G technology, 6G, 7G. It's creating the surveillance grid, the technocratic state, what they call the so-called fourth industrial revolution. This is what's going on. And we got to stand vigilant. We're all about humanism, life. We're not about transhumanism, NCA. We're not about displacing humanity. We want to uh, support, encourage humanity, but pushing it down, potential depopulation. We don't think that's in the best interest of humanity. Profit over public health. These are all issues to watch out for. But just on where you can make a difference is with this EMF. There's over 10,000 RF radio frequency scientific reports, warning of dangers. There's been work done on millimeter waves, warning of danger. So this stuff is real. We're encouraging you to take it seriously. I know the people I've been in contact with, I'm encouraged. They're starting to get informed on this issue. And I know from my own personal experience, it does affect your health short term and cumulative over long term without question. I've done enough of this, and we're creating a safe environment. This environment is safe. It's going to allow you to be healthier, live a better life, and that's what it's all about. So please share your comments, and we'll be updating, doing another video shortly. We have another member with a bunch of crystals, so we will test that out as well.